Hello, and welcome to the Point in Progress Podcast, Episode 3, your one-stop shop for news, recommendations, and some spicy takes. Join 5 friends across 3 time zones and 2 countries every week as we discuss all things we love while still thinking critically about them. I'm your host this week, Fee, also known as Fiona, and that is my real name, because apparently I'm going to start with my for my real name. And we're just going to get right into it because that's how we're rolling this week. I am with my co-hosts, starting off with the fantastic, because we are not going to use the word that Mario used last week. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. That was a weird word Mario used last week. We're not going to use it now. And for that reason, we're going to go. It was illustrious.
Oh, that's coming up later in our segments.
Oh my god. Y'all are
Oh god.
Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Let's go over to Mario. How are you doing today, Mario?
I'm doing fine. I'm having mic problems, but I'm doing fine. Hi, everybody.
Okay, well, that sounds about right. Let's go over to Harv. How's it going, Harv?
I'm doing well. A little tired, but I'm excited, guys. I'm excited.
Happy to hear it. And we also have Frank here with us.
I have ascended and I have become sleep itself.
Jesus Christ. Lord Almighty.
I know last week was the intoxication edition. This week is everyone is apparently sleep deprived. So we're going to see how this one goes. We're just going to do a quick segment called The Checkpoint. Thank you, everybody. Just wanted to let you all know that we actually hit over 100 subscribers on YouTube on our first week, which was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. Raise the roof. Golf clap. Jazz hands. I'm saying that specifically.
Let's throw something at the wall. Good job.
It's a party. Thank you so much, everyone. It means so much. Unfortunately, we haven't received our special YouTube link yet for some reason. We don't know why, but all of our links and everything will be in the description, along with all our other links to our other social medias. So thank you so much for being supportive. We really, really appreciate it. It means so much to us. And before I start getting a little bit emotional and start crying, we're going to go right into the next segment, which is what are we playing this week? We're going to start off with Frank. What have you been playing this week, Frank?
I finished Mafia 2. I started Mafia 3. I played it a few years back, and I'm restarting it now. And I played some Payday 2, and that's really kind of about it. I've just been playing the same stuff since last week, honestly.
Nice. Well, that's definitely a full plate of games that you got going on there. And Harv, what have you been playing this week?
So I've been still with Sekiro. I've been trying to do speed runs, and I almost hit my goal that I was trying, because I'm forcing myself this month to by the end of February I want to hit that goal, and if I can hit less than an hour to finish the game, I can finally put it away and just put it to the side and come back to it in 3 weeks or something like that, because I can never get away from this game, apparently. And then the other one is New Zombies map just dropped, and I was playing through that yesterday. It's not great. It's just like multiplayer maps strung together with zombies. It's okay. It's kind of lazy a little bit, but I'm waiting for them to drop like the big Easter egg and big story drop for zombies. So, but that's what I've been playing. I've been doing Sekiro speedruns and zombies since nothing new. Nothing's caught my eye yet for something that's came out. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's completely valid. And I've been watching some of your speedruns. For some reason, every single time I get to your stream, it's always you're in the same section. So I just assume that you're just stuck in the same section every time. But I can only assume you're doing a great job.
It's like Groundhog Day in my stream, apparently.
Yeah.
Every time you're
same
just like
thing.
going.
Every time I tune into Harv's stream, he's always in the same place in a speedrun too. I don't know how.
Harv, do you know what the
Every
definition of
single
insanity
time.
is?
Oh, don't worry. I almost hit that yesterday. I literally almost hit that yesterday because I was about to finish my PB. Like I was about to hit it, and then I
Mhm.
died against stuff that I've done easily. And like I was spread, dude. I was this close. That was this. I was about to call it to chat. There's no chat. I was this close of like throwing my controller yesterday because I almost hit it. But you know what? We're gonna hit it soon. We're gonna hit it soon.
Mhm.
For the people who are not watching this on YouTube, Harv is just putting his hands as far away as he can, and he's like, "I'm this close away. I'm
No,
this
That's
close
a
no.
away."
total lie.
He's really. You don't really seem like you're gonna do that, Harv, when you say it like that. You know, that's like two
I-
fish right there.
I just lost all confidence.
Yeah. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. We'll get right into the next. Mario, what have you been up to?
I've been doing okay. I've been, playing the same games as before, but the thing I wanted to showcase this week is that Superman and Lois on the CW came out, and I, as a Superman fan, absolutely adored it. Loved every second of it. Exploring new aspects of Superman on live action that I'm really excited for, which has been done yet, which is really cool. The fact that it is focusing on Lois and Superman as parents and going through what it's going to be to import his morality and all the things that you know about Superman into his two kids. The kids, of course, are modern kids. Some of them have issues, and they're going to do things. And honestly, it's something that I felt like I written years ago that I wanted to see, and I'm glad that they're doing it. So I'm super happy. It's the same CW Superman that we've seen before in Supergirl, except now he has his own show with Lois as like the co-anchor of this show. So very excited.
Yeah, that suit reveal at the beginning though.
Oh, wonderful. The original suit, the Fleischer suit.
Fleischer suit.
Yeah.
That's,
no.
that
whole
That
moment
was definitely a moment. Yeah, that was definitely really cool.
wiped away all bad feelings of Man of Steel for years just by seeing that one moment. So very happy and excited to see
Nice.
more. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'll definitely have to try to check that out at some point. I know I still need to watch WandaVision, so that's probably on my very long list, but I will definitely make sure to do so. But yeah, we'll get right over to Sly. What have you been up to?
So last week I had some pretty bad listening fatigue. I just could not focus on pretty much anything. So this week I've been really taking it easy on myself. So that means I've been watching a lot of junk TV shows, like medical dramas. But I did get a chance to start Baba Is You, which I've been wanting to play for a long time. And it was super chill, super relaxing. I'm not usually a big puzzle game, but I've been really enjoying Baba Is You. So that's what I've been up to.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
Nice. I've heard like really good things about it. I just personally haven't checked it out myself.
I'm afraid of it because I hear there's a
Yeah.
wall at some point, and I was like that wouldn't be able to do it. But yeah, I'm excited that you're enjoying it.
I love puzzle games. It's like one of my favorite genres, and that one is that and Witness are like really high on my list.
Nice. Well, all of you know that I have not been playing video games this week. And just want to say, to redact as one thing I particularly said last week, Yuna of the Dawn is a romance anime. It is not like Dragon Ball Z. Only the dragons look like it. You guys can Google it. That's on you if you really want to go about it. I know for me, it was probably my anxiety, like everyone's going to focus on that, which is probably not the case. And I decided that I needed a break from romance, and I jumped right into what I thought would be the complete opposite, which was Jujutsu Kaisen, which actually won Anime of the Year from Crunchyroll, which was super exciting. Some people are not super happy about it. It is a fighting anime, shonen, and it is phenomenal. I haven't finished it or at least caught up yet. I'm currently watching it by myself. I'm partially watching it with Frank, and I just started the manga yesterday. So I'm just currently trying to get as much info and consume as much content of that as I can. And yeah, that's all I've been up to.
It's pretty good. I like it. I like the first episode so far. We'll watch
The first
more,
episode, yeah.
but I'm not like almost half asleep.
Exactly. No, it was no, yeah, we've only watched one episode.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. What we're gonna do, because there is a lot of it this week, we're gonna jump right into the patch notes, and we're going to be talking about all the fun things that have happened this week. So I'm gonna pass the torch over to Frank, and
Hello.
he's going to tell us the news.
All right, everyone. So our first article this week is not an article, but in fact a plug. Mario and I got this news by hanging out and reacting to the event live with our friends over at PlayStation Source. That's youtube.com/PlayStation Source. Thanks again to Kevin Diaz for having us on. And Harv also had his own reaction live at his Twitch. That'll be twitchtv.com/ twitch.tv/the beard and hair. Sorry, I saw .com at the
Wake
top
up.
and then read the bottom.
Put on a little bit of makeup.
Again, that's twitch.tv/the beard and hair, where you can find all his spicy takes as well. So this week, Sony had a state of play. Yesterday, Sony held a state of play, the first one since October of 2020. It had some smaller reveals and one bigger one, and was overall very short and very much to the point. What do we think, everyone? Fee, I'm actually going to give it to you on this one. What'd you think? What did you think of the...
I thought it was okay. That's pretty much the extent of how I felt about the direct. I think the only thing I was slightly interested was Kina, Bridge of Spirit, because that
Mhm.
seemed like something that I would enjoy. But overall, I just wasn't excited. And I remember, I think it was at the end, I like posted in Harv's chat, I'm like, is this over? Like, what's happening? Because I had to go away for a second. I came back and I'm like, did he just accidentally switch over to just him, like himself on his screen, and they're still doing the actual state of play? But apparently it was only 30 minutes. So that was
Mhm.
my take, was it was okay.
All right. Sly, what did you think of the PlayStation event?
Well, I think I'm the only one who didn't watch it live. I was in class. Boring, I know. So I went through the blog post with all the updates, and yeah, like Fee said, it was fine. Kina Bridge of Spirits looks pretty cool. Deathloop probably isn't my type of game, but that looked cool as well. So those are the two things that really stood out to me. But other than that, yeah, it was okay.
What are you buying out of any of those games? Like, is there any one of them where you're like, I need to like buy that day one?
I'm not a big day one buyer. I'll wait to see how people I care about think of it.
That's fair. And then I just wanted to bring up that we did not get any Elden Ring news. But I do know that my buddy Harv here probably has some stuff to say about Final Fantasy VII, and hopefully that hyped up his demon soul.
Okay, first, Elden Ring. I don't want to talk about Elden Ring. I can't talk about Elden Ring anymore. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
That's fine.
It's the best ongoing joke ever. It's just every event happens. Is there going to be Elden Ring?
Yeah. And then my chat gets all hyped up because like there might be Elden Ring, and I'm just like, guys, don't do this to me, please. I can only be hurt so much, you know.
It's like Half-Life 3. It's like when you get it, it's gonna be the sweetest thing in the world.
But Final Fantasy VII remake Intergrade, I think it's called, which is the Yuffie episode. When I first saw Yuffie, I was really excited. I was like, oh my god, are we going to see a Final Fantasy VII remake part 2 right now? Is this happening? And now seeing that it's just an Intergrade episode, I'm not expecting Final Fantasy VII remake part 2 now for another 3 years minimum.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which makes me kind of sad, and like I was hoping for some news for it. I'm gonna play this. I'm buying this. I'm a Final Fantasy nerd, right? This is my kind of jam. So they've already got my money when it comes to this stuff.
No, for Harv, I was very much in love with everything that they showed and excited to see new things. 100%, that's not going to happen until we get at least 16. So my expectations are pretty set that we're not seeing that for a while.
Yeah, like one of the ongoing jokes that I have in my stream is like, are we gonna get Final Fantasy 16 first, or are we gonna get Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 first? Like, I don't know what we're gonna get out of the two, and it seems like we're gonna get 16 before Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2. That's what we're looking at right now. The game looks great on PS5. It looks great. Hopefully they fix the doors. That's what I'm really hoping for. I hope we don't get PS2 doors.
It's funny. During the reaction live, I think one of the guys mentioned that the doors are not going to be circular. Or sorry, not going to be polygonal anymore.
Yeah. But honestly, I expected this from this state of play. They already said 30 minutes, 10 games, 10 deep dives into games. And I didn't expect God of War. I didn't expect Horizon. I didn't expect any of the big tentpole things. I wanted to see Returnal. I saw Returnal. It still hasn't sold me on it yet. I'm still on the fence. I need to see reviews on that. And then the other two were Sifu, which look really cool to me, and then Kenna, I think it's Kenna. I think it's called. That game looks so beautiful, and I can't wait for that game. And what Sly was saying about Deathloop, that was as James Bond ass trailer you could possibly get right there.
It was so cool.
And I think they've pretty much sold me on that game. So those are my highlights. And the Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff is cool. I am a huge Final Fantasy fan. I will buy it. I will play it. But I'm still disappointed that we didn't get anything for Remake Part 2.
Fair.
Yeah, I do want to preface, and yes, I will say my takes. If you own PS4 copy already, then you get the PS5 copy. You do have to buy Yuffie separately. That's a DLC that you have to buy. Mm-hmm. And it's a PS Plus game, but you only get the PS4 version. You don't get the upgrade later. Which sucks.
That's a little deceptive on their part. It's like, we're going to announce a thing where you get a free upgrade, and we're also going to give you the game for free for PlayStation Plus, but you got to pay the extra money for it.
Yeah.
Or even if you can, actually. I know eSponge was talking about, I wonder if they're even going to give you an upgrade path from the PlayStation Plus version to maybe pay some money to get the upgrade.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be unprecedented, so it's possible. Mm-hmm. I personally, you get a little hype when you're on these reacts, right? So you're in a group of people that are there for a specific reason. So yeah, you're going to definitely feel something. And I will say that I did have my expectations tempered, and I knew what I was going for. I knew that I wasn't going to get, like you said, the big titles. I knew that we'll get something nice at the end of it at the very least, because they kind of do that. The last few ones have done that. Kenna looks so amazing that I cannot wait to play. It gave me Avatar vibes. It looks like a video game animation movie that I can enjoy and play. And I'm very much excited for what that does. Solar Ash is another game that I want to get into because I love the style of it, but I have not even played their first game, and I really want to. I own it on 2 different consoles. So Hyperlife Drifter, I definitely got to play that before I play Solar Ash, but it looks pretty. The game that I was surprised by was Sifu. Sifu, by the people that make Absolver. It looked like what we called Old Boy, the hallway fight in Old Boy or Daredevil, and it looked like a game, and I'm all in for it. It looks like so fun. The animation of it. I'm excited for that game specifically. But that's what I overall thought of this event.
Awesome. If you see me looking away here, it's because I'm trying to buy a 3070. It just got in stock again. I tried, man. It's impossible. Yeah, I thought the event was pretty great. At least in terms of if you thought the event was gonna be some big we're gonna show God of War 2, we're gonna show this, then obviously I can understand why people were a little disappointed. But after I heard it was only going to be 30 minutes, I knew it wasn't going to be heavy hitter. It's going to be a bunch of smaller games and then one big heavy hitter at the end, more than likely. But I was super hyped to see some gameplay on Returnal. Before that, I haven't seen any gameplay on it. It's right up my alley. It's basically just run and gun, but in third person, just Doom Eternal kind of feels. Sifu looks amazing. Sifu looks awesome. I can't wait to play the crap out of that. And then Deathloop looks like the Dishonored 3 I've always wanted. It literally has the same gameplay. except with the Groundhog Day mechanic, which I still don't understand. The trailers don't really explain the Groundhog Day feature here. You see it happen, but it's still kind of unclear on how it works. But other than that, I will finally play Final Fantasy VII Remake now that it's at 60 FPS. It's not gonna look like crap anymore. Did you see the lighting in that?
What?
I will fight you on that. It never looked like crap. There are elements that looked like poop, but it never looked like crap. I just want to say that specifically after beating the game.
I'm gonna die on my hill and say that everything but the character models looked kind of crappy.
Only the main
Lighting
character
wise.
models looked really good. Everything
Yes.
else was kind of like whatever.
You saw.
But
Go ahead, Harv.
what I was gonna say is like the lighting looks great in this
Mhm.
now. It looks really freaking good. If they could fix the doors, I will be happy. But yeah, the game running at
doors.
60 FPS is awesome. Like it looks really really fluid, and like just seeing the upgrade of like all the character models and just like the fog mechanics and lighting and stuff. This is a game that's gonna be worth it to play on a PS5. Worth it to play on a PS5. And if you guys have never played a Final Fantasy game, if you've never played one, this is probably a good start, honestly.
Yeah.
It takes action and it puts ATB system together. It puts the two together. I know Sly, you were you do you not agree with that?
I've watched people play through the story, and it's just not for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say. It's just not.
It's a
for
Final
me.
Fantasy story. It gets wild. It gets out there.
I just know that people aren't fans of the turn-based combat of the old Final Fantasy game, right? So like this is more action-based, so I feel like this might be more up people's alley kind of type thing. The story is still a little batshit crazy, and if you've never played the original Final Fantasy, at the end you're like, what?
Mhm.
But I think as an entry period, it might I think it's a good entry period because I think they're gonna go this way forward, right? Final Fantasy 16 kind of looks like this.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy
Yeah.
15 was already kind of like this, so yeah.
At the very least, it is a PlayStation Plus game. You can download it and try it out, and if you don't like it, you can delete it immediately.
Exactly. And then it isn't really PlayStation news, but there also is going to be a Switch version of Final Fantasy VII coming out. Oh, what was it again? It was mobile and Switch.
Yeah, Ever Crisis. No, it's
Ever
just
Crisis.
it's just iOS and Android right now, but
Okay.
it is something that looks like it could be on the Switch.
Yeah, it looks really cool, and I want to play that. I want to play that really badly, but I don't want to play it on my phone.
I was gonna say, I was like, how's that game gonna? How's Final Fantasy VII Remake gonna play on the Switch? That's gonna be like 10 FPS.
No, not Final Fantasy. It's like,
Or your Switch
have you
would just
seen it?
combust.
Have you seen it yet?
So it
The,
looked. Yeah, have you seen it? It looks like, if you remember, there was a pocket edition of Final Fantasy 15. It's that, but Final Fantasy 7, the entire story. So it's going to be the first game and all the spin-offs, which is interesting.
Ooh, Crisis Core.
Yeah, literally they show up thing that has all of the different games on it.
Yeah, it looks really cool because it keeps the same style of the original game, but they've obviously made everything rendered in. They've updated the character models and everything. It still has the same combat. It still has turn-based combat. So it's another version of the remake that people kind of wanted for Final Fantasy VII. Because remember when like people were talking about how do you remake Final Fantasy VII? Do you do the Final Fantasy 15 stuff or do you do turn-based? Now you have both.
I think they just nailed Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat. I was like, this is perfect. Give me this. Give me more of this.
Alrighty then. So that was the PlayStation event. I mean, that was kind of the ones that we were excited about. Again, it was only a 30-minute event, so there wasn't too much on the table, but I know some of the Final Fantasy fans were completely ecstatic over the news of like 15 different Final Fantasy announcements in like less than 10 minutes. But we are going to move over to our next article, and our next article does come from gamesindustry.biz. President Biden orders a review of semiconductor shortage amid PS5, Xbox stock problems by James Batchelor. That was a weird sentence to read because it's like staggered a little bit on my screen. So everyone, the president can't get an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, and when the president can get one, you best believe that they're going to throw money at it so they can. Jokes aside, President Biden is looking to push for a $37 billion billion to fund a legislation to kickstart semiconductor production in the United States. This comes off the heels of a 100-day review of supply chains for 4 very critical products, which include semiconductors. So this article doesn't sound like it's crazy gaming news, but hear me out here. Semiconductors are very important because they're literally the brain power of what we use. Whether you're trying to buy a GPU right now, whether you're trying to buy an Xbox, whether you're trying to buy a PlayStation, it is almost impossible because these manufacturers cannot get enough silicon to actually make these GPUs, make these CPUs, make anything. Everybody is affected by this right now, from AMD, Nvidia, Sony to Microsoft. So this is super important. What do you guys think about it?
I mean, superconductors are very important. They're in basically any technology. That's like phones, fridges, washing machines, like anything that has any sort of like smart component to it or whatever is being affected. So I don't know. I didn't look too much into the back end of what this legislation is going to look like, but I mean, it's good that somebody's doing something about this to help kind of kickstart all of that electronic manufacturing growth.
Because I remember when the PS5 was about to release, I think it was like me, Frank, Sly, and Fee in the Discord. Just like, I know Sly and I were like trying our hardest, and I think Frank as well. I know you, Frank and Mario, you guys got yours pretty quickly.
Yeah, we got lucky, and GameStop called us. We can't. The employee that called us is not working there anymore, so we can say it. But they called us and said, "Hey, pre-orders are going to start in like 20 minutes," and we're like, "Bet we're getting sushi at the time." So we got over there and got like one of the last 3 of them.
Sly and I were like feverishly refreshing and stuff like that. Like I had a horrible story for that. Like it was terrible for me, but like. Yeah, finding a PS5 and even an Xbox Series X right now is like nearly impossible. Like every time you see like Wario64 posting on this kind of like saying like, oh, the PlayStation's about to have a queue and stuff, they're just sold out instantly sold out. So like it's good that people are starting to look into it now, especially like, you know, the government's starting to look into it. It's like, why is this happening? Because like it's not just the consoles now, like you were saying, it's the GPUs that are getting hit, CPUs getting hit, everything is getting hit by this. So like it's good that somebody's actually taking a note for it, because man, it's one of my friends was talking to me about buying a computer, and he wanted to just he wanted to buy like all the pieces and stuff. And I straight up told him, I was like, buy a pre-built computer at this point.
Yeah.
Because that's the easiest way you're gonna get a 30 series card for a 30 series.
Yeah, you might pay a little bit more, but at least you're getting one. At least it's better than giving it to a scalper at this point.
Yeah.
Just to like it's insane, because I'm trying to buy a 3080 or a 3070, and I have to be subscribed to like 15 different of these like stock info things. And as soon as a stock pops up, you can literally see right under it that like hundreds of people are reacting to just this notification, and you're fighting against 100 people clicking on the same link on Amazon at like a millisecond of a time. It's insane how unavailable this stuff is, and that it's not even just semiconductors. Large vehicle batteries are apparently part of the big supply chain problems, rare earth minerals, and pharmaceuticals, which is worrying. That last one's more worrying than GPUs and CPUs. But
yeah.
Well, hopefully after this, Fee will finally be able to get a new computer.
Yeah, I mean, good luck getting a third. I know you were talking about like building a computer. I'm just like, don't. There's no point. Getting a 3070 or even a 3080 right now is impossible.
Well, it just like for me, like I'll see people online and they're making computers and they're like, I got my 3070. I'm like, where? Who did you have to like be friends with? And like how much money did you have to spend to get that 3070? Because I cannot for the life of me, one, find a freaking computer that has one, because right now, the second that they go online, they're like sold out, or they're just not in my location in Halifax, or they're just non-existent. And there's so many websites that have like a ton of different options, or like 3070 by this particular company, sold out and sold out and sold out. There are people online, because I was looking the other day just out of sheer curiosity, just on like the Facebook marketplace. There are people that you can pay per month to go hunting for these for you. So you pay them to
What?
refresh these pages and look through all these websites, and they will buy it for you, and then you have to pay a specific premium when they like put in this order for you. Like,
It's
it is
insane.
bonkers.
Yeah.
And I would love, like, right now I'm the only one sitting in this podcast that, one, does not have a PlayStation 5, and two, I do not have a computer that functions well. So I'm just sitting here as the odd man out. Hopefully, like, right now my priorities, as much as PlayStation's great, it's new computer and then PlayStation. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping that I get a new computer in the next month or so, and then I can start hunting for a PlayStation, because I can only handle one stress and not two.
Valid.
And then Mario, I know you were trying to get a Series X very recently. How'd that go for you?
Yeah, someone linked me to a link for Walmart, and they were going to give away at a certain time, and I was there, and the link didn't refresh in the proper way, and the only way you could get it, and it wasn't like buy now, like buy it flat out. No, you had to go through the all access option, which is technically financing. So they denied me. So I couldn't. And I wanted to just buy the whole thing. I was like, I'll just buy the whole thing. Just let me pay for it.
I got the
And
money. Just give it to me.
I would love to give you the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that did not go well at all. I do still want a Series X, so let me know if in the chat, or if you want to buy it for me, and then I'll pay you back. Just let me know.
Yeah, one of the things I did want to bring up was a lot of these companies are doing these raffles, and it's very weird. Newegg was doing one for some 3070s yesterday, and I kind of gave up because I didn't want to pay an extra $200 for a 3070. But it's basically like you go to this website, you wait like an hour for the website to open. You like choose what you want. You wait for an hour for the website to open, and then you enter a raffle, which then they contact you an hour later to email you to let you know that you can buy the item, and you only have a certain amount of time to buy the item. It's a very weird system, and I know PlayStation 5s were on there yesterday, at least on the Newegg auction. So it's a way to stop scalpers, I guess. But
I was gonna say it's a way to like it's a way. I guess
but scalpers are gonna
Yeah.
participate.
Scalpers are gonna scalp, you know.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, because like PlayStation has like their PlayStation queue usually now, and then like they actually like let you know when the queue is about to begin now, instead of like, oh, the queue's up, everybody come over
Yeah.
here. Like, no, the queue's gonna start in about 10 minutes. Everybody get ready. So like at least they're giving some sort of heads up and stuff like that. But like I 100% agree. There should be a better way of doing this. But you know, I don't see this changing until probably late 2021.
Oh yeah, like May, June, July, maybe we'll finally
Even
start
later
seeing some
that?
decent stock.
Even later
But-
than that, I would think like October, and then it's gonna be Christmas time again.
Mhm.
Computers might be a little bit different, fee. Computers
Yeah.
might be a little bit different.
On the
But like,
CPU
I'm
front,
saying though, if you see a PC, buy it.
yeah, on the CPU front, I seen Ryzen CPUs are starting to become more and more available. At least the Micro Center that here in Chicago has at least 25, which is promising because last week they had 0. So it's good. But yeah, hopefully by the end of the year we'll start seeing some stock. Hopefully few finally have a computer that doesn't hate her. I will have a computer that is better than what I currently have, even though what I currently have is perfectly fine. Mario will have a Series X, and Harv will have an Elden Ring announcement.
I just went through a series of emotions that I was just like a roller coaster. Like you started with Elden Ring, I got sad, and then you said you might get it at some point. I was like, oh yay!
And our final article this week comes from Kotaku. Sony's illustrious Japan studio is basically done for, by Luke Plunkett. The Sony Japan studio, whose projects include Bloodborne and Knack, have been downsized to nearly nothing left. The only ones left who remain are the studio team behind Astro's Playroom, who will be moved to their own team starting April 1st. Mario, I know you had something to say about this, so I'll hand it off to you.
Rest in peace, Bloodborne. Rest in peace, Parappa the Rapper, Ape Escape, Gravity Rush. This is the studio that brought us all these wonderful games, and it is sad to see it go because it's been there since the beginning. It's been
tenure.
Has a lot of tenure. So, but Team Asobi is sticking around, so we still will get Astro's Playroom. So I'm very happy that still gets to continue, but sadly at the cost of so much. So yeah, no, this sucks in a lot of ways, but coronavirus, business deals, whatever it ended up being, some things have to give, and sadly this might have been one of them. To be honest, the last several games that they've done outside of Playroom, even though that was given away for free, haven't been doing so well. I know that Bloodborne is the exception, but Bloodborne's also, if I'm not mistaken, from Software. Am I right on that?
It's from Software with, I think, some sort of like help with Japan Studios, but it is from it's a From Software game.
Yeah, and I think they also helped with Blue Point when they did the Shadow of the Colossus. So it like I said, it's a legacy that you would hate to say goodbye to, but sometimes this happens, and we just have to move on. We can grieve for this, but if we're grieving, we're loving this thing. I'm trying to do a WandaVision thing. Doesn't matter. Continue. Yeah. Well, sorry. Goodbye, Japan Studios.
Sly, do you have any games on here from Japan Studios that you absolutely adored or missed them for?
Really? Most of the games I play are artsy indie games. So, that's where my heart is. But it's definitely sad. I know they made so many games that are so beloved by so many people. And just because that's not necessarily me doesn't mean that this isn't a sad occurrence to hear about. So I think Mario put it best. Like there's a lot of great titles there, and it's sad to see them go.
Yeah, there's so much tenure there that it's just, man. I
feel
like. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like we've seen more closures now that we see like more studios popping up in the last little while, and it kind of sucks to see.
Fee, any games on here? I do have a list in the doc of like some of the games that they're well known for. Any thoughts on the whole, closure or anything like that?
Well, obviously, as the mega Demon Souls / Bloodborne professional player that I am,
Yeah,
no
you
one else plays these games.
did sub 1 hour on Sekiro, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's insane.
Man, it
like
was
even
great.
Harv's struggling on that.
Yeah, and every time I went to her stream, she was always in the same spot. Like I
Yeah.
just don't understand it. She's like
I don't
always in the same
understand.
spot.
I love podcasts with callbacks.
And no, in all honesty, I enjoyed like those types of styles of games as much as I'm not actually. Shocker, I know I just said I was a professional. I lied to all of you again.
Bold-faced
I'm
lie, how
actually
dare
not.
you.
Bold-faced lie. I'm just
Oh,
the entire.
fucking dare you.
I know. How dare I? No, but in all seriousness, a great loss for PlayStation. I know it's been kind of happening with other um, groups as well. Obviously, since earlier on this year, we saw Stadia, the two studios closing, and now we're seeing this particular studio kind of just reduce one particular group, a very small one at that. So it's definitely sad to see that. Hopefully, we do see these creators find um, a new path in different other studios. There's definitely a lot currently, but it is definitely a sad time to see something such as this, especially with how much tenure they had to have to take this particular route.
Mhm. And then Harv.
I mean,
I saved the best for last because I know.
I mean, I don't put Bloodborne on like Japan Studios. I think I wouldn't put the onus on them for Bloodborne. That's more from software, in my opinion. But when it comes to like Shadow of the Colossus, that's an important game, right? That is a massive game that came out, and they had like that was pretty much, I think, developed by them, right? Japan Studios.
Mhm.
So it's something like that, like one of those games that resonates from generation to generation, and it's like those kind of games that I wouldn't miss for them to make and stuff like that. But like, it sucks, but this kind of stuff happens, and I feel for people that have like lost their jobs, especially during this time, which really really does suck. But I'm hoping everybody lands on their feet, and it just sucks just seeing another studio go. Honestly, it just sucks seeing another studio go.
Yeah, it sucks to see a studio go that arguably helped shape what PlayStation is today. I know a lot of these titles on here are not necessarily the biggest titles in the world. Like, they're not God of War, they're not Metal Gear Solid, they're not any of those, or Final Fantasy. They're not any of those like big PlayStation titles that you kind of remember. But Parappa the Rapper is still a insanely fun game, and when you think PlayStation, you do remember Parappa the Rapper or Ape Escape or Shadow of the Colossus, Wild Arms, all these different things. Rule of Rose was one of my favorites on the list. Was just like, I didn't even know that studio even did Rule of Rose. It's a really good horror game, really expensive to find, but if you can pirate it, I would suggest it because nobody wants to pay $90 for a game in 2021. But yeah, that's basically it for the news, guys.
We do that every time that we're in Canada. We pay $100 for games.
Oh man,
Jesus Christ!
I found a copy of Rule of Rose on eBay for like $300. I was just like, I'm not paying for this, dude.
That's just the world we live in over here in Canada, dude.
Yeah. Well, R.I.P. Sony Japan. You will be missed.
All right, guys. So, thank you so much, Frank, for going over the news.
Good job, champ. It's short for champion.
Good job, champ. So we kind of have a special episode of Hot Takes today, guys. Our very first week, we specifically talked about the fact that Pokemon is the WWE of video games. And shockingly enough, today at the Pokemon Presents, they showed a open world Pokemon game to make us eat our words. Mind you, we did not get to see anything other than kind of what it looks like, which a lot of people referred it to the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon, because they did use a lot of references and aerial shots of the characters that made it look like Breath of the Wild. But the main thing here is it's an open world game where you actually run around and throw Pokeballs at a Pokemon, and it is a prequel to the other games, and you're going to be in, I think it's Soen? The island that
Sinnoh region, if I'm not mistaken.
So you're in Soen.
Sinnoh.
Yeah. Sinnoh region. You start off with 3 different starters that are from different games, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
But the main thing here is it's an open world Pokemon game after we said that they constantly followed the exact same mold. So I really appreciate that Pokemon really made us eat our own words, even though we didn't get to see any sort of like NPC or quests like that. But for me, this definitely seems like, hey, we know everyone has given up on this particular idea, and so this is the perfect time to say, like, this is what we're actually releasing. But I know how I feel. I would like to know how my co-hosts feel. We're going to start off, though, because I know for a fact Harv might have different thoughts than I do. So I'm going to just throw it over to Harv first. How do you feel, Harv?
This is we have not. Everybody is saying Breath of the Wild for Pokemon. This does, like, sure, the shots kind of look like it. The music kind of looks like the music is like a straight ripoff of Breath of the Wild. But I just don't think this is the one that people are thinking it's going to be Breath of the Wild, because the mechanics are exactly the same still. There's no change in the mechanics. The game is it's still catching Pokemon, but you're actually just throwing them on the field. But the turn-based combat is still there. All that shit is still there, right? I just don't, and you can roll apparently. That's something, I guess. But like I just don't see that. I don't know. It just harkens back to like what Pokemon is still. It just doesn't feel like it's a major evolution. It just seems like they're starting to get there. They're starting to push over to that side. But I still did not see like this is like a huge step up.
I'm jumping in.
It looks like
Go ahead.
No,
go
yeah,
ahead.
you know what? Let's tag team this man right now.
Hold on, Fee, you go first.
I was going to be the professional host that I am and pass it over to you, Mario. So go for it.
Let's tag team this man right now.
100%.
Tap me in halfway through.
I will. So I know you said that you're like, oh, this isn't Breath of the Wild. Straight up, someone literally put the commercial from Breath of the Wild and this together, and it's the same sweeping shot. No, 100%. I'm not saying for them to break Pokemon to totally change it. I think what they did here was at least tantalizing enough that felt much more of an evolution when I first saw Sword and Shield for the first time. And I was like, oh, it's going to be open. Oh my God, we're finally getting what we want. And then you play the game and it's dog shit. And it's not what you really want. It's a small little area. This legit looks like, hey, there's a huge whole like biome that you can explore. And that excites me. And the fact that, yes, there's still going to be Pokemon battles. That's all there true. That's 100%. But at the very least, it looks like we are going to be approaching certain things in different ways. And the world itself, like, it is pretty much a very small taste of what it could possibly be. But I am excited for other things that could also happen in the game. Like, maybe it's more than just going to gym battles all the time. We don't know yet. But, yeah, I think there... Hold on, Harv. I know you're going to jump in, but I got to tag my buddy in. Hold on one second.
Hold on. All right, man. All right, you look. Hold on, Harv. I gotta end your career really quick. Give me a second. Okay. So Mario basically already said what I had to say, but I do have some other thoughts there too. The combat looks different. The combat looks like they're doing something different here. It still looks turn-based, but at the same time, it looks like they're doing something along the lines of it's gonna be a seamless transition into combat, where combat happens dynamically within the game instead of stopping, waiting for a load screen, showing you a different screen, and then fighting like in a different camera perspective. Whereas your trainer looks like it's still gonna be on the field, and you're watching the battle from third person. I don't think it's gonna be the end-all be-all Pokemon game. Mainly because this doesn't feel like it's trying to be an end-all be-all Pokemon game. It looks more like the studio is trying to try something new without making it a full-blown like this is the Pokemon game. It's like it looks more like a project to gauge what fans think and try some new ideas out. But we're still giving you Pokemon with Brilliant Diamond, or was it Brilliant Diamond and something Pearl?
It's like
what was the other one?
Brilliant Diamond and Sexy Pearl. I don't know.
Sexy Pearl. So Brilliant
Pearl.
Diamond and Sexy Pearl are the Pokemon game for the people who want Pokemon, like in its root. And the Legends game is Pokemon that is a possibility for the future if people like it. Does that make sense?
It's Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl before anybody comes at us.
Got it. Sexy Pearl.
That is now canonically says Sexy Pearl now. That's how it is.
Somebody get on that Photoshop. Somebody Photoshop and say Sexy Pearl now.
I do agree that it is a direction that they should be going. Like it is different enough to differentiate it from the older Pokemon games, which I like. I'm not 100% sold that the battle system is different. It looks exactly the same still. The animations look a little bit better, at least. I'm glad about that. The world, I guess this is not coming out till 2022, right? So the world still does look empty as well. But I think that's just gonna come. I hope you guys are right. I want to be wrong here. This is one of those situations where I want to be wrong. I want to be the person that's going to eat my words when this Pokemon game comes out. Be like, yeah, it's not just going to 8 gym battles. it's not going to the Elite Four and then fighting Ash Ketchum or some shit at the end or something like that. Like I want it to be completely different, and I want the formula to be different, and I want to be wrong on this one. I really
because we don't hate Pokemon on this podcast. I don't know where
No,
you got
no,
this notion.
I don't hate Pokemon. I just don't know how Pokemon is like this big still, which just kind of baffles me.
Mhm.
But it's I kind of see it now. I guess I don't know.
See, Mario, I'm sorry. Mario is not having the best time with this microphone. Mario, this is why you need. This is why this microphone has a light to its capacity.
No, I'm muted because I'm trying to not keep talking. That's why.
Oh, okay. I thought you
doing
were
it
having
on purpose.
problems with your microphone.
No, I'm trying to like not cut in. I'm trying not to cut in.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I'm gonna play this. It's different enough. I'm gonna probably play it. But yeah. That's kind of what my takes were, because I was watching it. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is gonna be crazy. I'm like, we'll see.
Yeah, there's plenty of time from here and then to see.
Give me an update at the end of 2021, and we will talk.
And Sly, how did you feel about it?
Well, it's Nintendo, so of course none of the videos had any captions anywhere. So that's my first take. Just visually, because I have no idea what they're saying in this trailer, I really like it. I like the look. I like the style. This transition between battles looks intriguing. I really hope we get more of that soon. Is this gonna be the game that might convince me to buy Switch secondhand? Maybe. Also, I would die for Oshawott, so that helps.
Yes,
he is very excited.
What the fuck? Put some fucking respect on Cyndaquil's name, bro. Put some respect on Cyndaquil's name.
Okay, first of all,
Cyndaquil is great, but Oshawott is a water type. It's an otter. It's like everything I could ever want in a Pokemon. Like Oshawott's amazing. So we'll see.
I almost died when I found out, because I never played Black or White. So when I saw that I could have Oshawott as my starter, the sassy, I don't give a diddly damn about anyone's opinion, but I also want to be loved at the same time, Oshawott, I'm all about this. I need to have him. He has a little shell, guys, that they can take off their body and throw at people. Not only that, it's to represent their favorite rock, which I have discussed multiple times, that otters have their favorite rocks that they carry in a little pouch underneath their arm. So am I excited to I'm going to buy it specifically for Oshawott. You've already sold me Pokemon. So I'm so excited that we were able to take what was a very controversial hot take and brought it all the way around to we are now pretty much all sold onto the new Pokemon Legends game, because the second I saw it, I'm like, oh crap, we're gonna have to do a update on our hot takes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to eat some crow pie here. On the topic of Pokemon, what's our favorite Pokemon?
I mean, I think Fee and I just established ours. Where are you
that is the end all be all for you?
Actually, I love Oshawott. Oshawott is 100% of my top 3, but I think my number 1, which is going to be a shocker, is Haunter.
Haunter's awesome.
I love Haunter, mostly because when I was playing, I think, oh god, which one was it? It was on the 3DS. And
X and Y?
it was the one that was set in almost Europe. Yeah, I think so. Because I had Haunter as my companion, and just the actions that they had, and how happy they were whenever you pet them, they just made a little chuckle whenever they laughed. So I was just oh man.
Sorry, for the audio listeners, Frank just held up the cartridge for that game. Continue.
Yeah. Yes. So that was my favorite, and I specifically remember it was a female Haunter. I named her Hauntra because I thought it was kind of a cool name. I know I'm not very good at making names up sometimes, guys. Leave me be. I think it was 3 a.m. when I caught her, and I just had her earlier on, and I wasn't expecting it, but I would definitely say she's probably my number one, which is shocking because Oshawott exists. Arcanine used to be also one of my top like favorites, but then it's definitely Hunter.
Yeah, I would have to say that Oshawott is definitely up there for me. I usually like the water Pokemon best, but I think my favorite is probably Eevee, just because of how cool the lore is. And little friend.
Little friend.
Eevee's just little friend.
Little friend.
And I just love how many different like evolutions there are, and I just think that's a really cool story aspect of the character. But yeah, so either Oshawott or Eevee is probably up there for mine. Harv, what about you?
My number one is Articuno. That is my
Nice.
number one Pokemon. That's my favorite. But I'm right there with you, Slide. My number two, like a close two, is Eevee. I freaking love Eevee. Just the way, like, the different evolutions that you can have with Eevee. Because Flareon is like my favorite one. Flareon just looks all fluffy and cute. That you just want to hug, and then you're just gonna burn yourself, and you're gonna, but yeah, I think Articuno is my favorite, and then I would have to go with Eevee with Flareon as an evolution. I'm a fan of the 150, the starting 150. That's really all like I know for sure. I know a lot. I don't know too much about Gold and Silver. Like I play Gold and Silver. I really enjoy Gold and Silver. After that, I have no idea what is happening anymore. It's like they just see a picture, they put a name generator at it, and they're like, "Yep, that's it. All right, let's get it."
Name generator. It's probably true, actually.
I mean, you look at some of these Pokemon, you look at the names, and you're like, "Come on, guys.
Is this?
Come on."
And Mike, what's your favorite?
Are you dead?
I'm
Yes,
sorry, you broke up like right when you said that.
Yeah, right.
So
Mario.
You just
Mario.
said all I heard was
Favorite
"Who's your
Mario?
favorite?"
Yeah,
I just want to point out that the deaf person heard that, and none of y'all did.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
the internet cut out. I don't
Oh
know.
my God.
It's the
Yeah,
it's
you're
the-
cut
you
out.
guys share. Look, it's because you're on like school Wi-Fi, and Fee's Wi-Fi is basically just school Wi-Fi.
Wow.
My Wi-Fi is fine. It's my computer.
My favorite Pokemon is actually Flareon. Flareon is my favorite. I always had a fondness for the design of Flareon. Specifically, it is my favorite EV evolution. And whenever I had a chance, when I played, yellow, red, blue, I always picked Flareon first before doing any others. So yeah, Flareon is my favorite. My sexuality though is Lugia. Lugia is my favorite.
Lugia is a mood.
Lugia is a
I don't think I've
mood.
ever heard anybody reference a Pokemon as bisexuality, but that's a new one.
And
Yes.
Frank?
Aesthetically, Eevee. Specifically the shiny version of Eevee, because it's literally a gray fox with red eyes. It's so cool. I have a few of those on my X and Y thing, which is why I was trying to turn it on here a second ago so I could show it, but it's not happening. If I'm actually doing Pokemon battles, Gengar. Gengar is literally my favorite fighting Pokemon because it just has some really OP abilities, and the shiny version is literally a white ghost. It looks so cool.
When I saw Gengar in the Detective Pikachu movie, I lost my mind. I was so happy to see my boy floating around. I was like, this is so cool.
I love me some Gengar.
Well, like the ghost Pokemon always have like the saddest stories in Pokemon lore. And like I remember when I was a kid and I remember the episode where Ash goes to the tower and then meets Haunter for the first time and you find out that Haunter is just like making jokes and like trying to pull pranks, but then you find out like their history and then like why they want to like play pranks and stuff like that, and then I cried. So like yes, ghost Pokemon just like hit me in the feels constantly, and so yeah, for sure.
Except for Drifloon.
Gengar, it's super cool too.
Except for Drifloon. Drifloon kidnaps children and they just fall from the sky. Apparently, it's canon in the Pokemon universe that kids just either disappear or randomly fall from the sky because they've been kidnapped by a Drifloon.
Okay,
Wild.
so that was a great update. I'm gonna
Look,
end that there.
You said ghost Pokemon are sympathetic. I'm trying to give you the other side of it. Some
Why
of them are
did you have to
assholes.
ruin it? Why did you have to ruin it?
I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. I guess our podcast Pokemon is Eevee. Because clearly we all have a fondness for Eevee.
It
at
is.
some point.
That's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail for
Yes, please.
for hot takes this week. Harv, get right on it.
Oh, Flareon's right now. Flareon should be it because it's literally the hot Eevee.
You can have both. Just throw all all 150 Pokemon on the thumbnail at the same time.
Please don't do that.
Time. Yeah.
Oh my god, no. If I had to choose, because apparently you all are obsessed with Eevee.
You are too, don't lie.
I honestly, like, Eevee's good, but like there's other Pokemon that I would definitely choose over any sort of evolution in my squad. But if I had to choose one, I would probably choose Aquarion.
Okay. Let's be honest. If there was a ghost Eevee, that would be yours.
I mean,
Isn't
the
that
closest
Espeon?
is Espeon.
That ghost type.
Espeon's
Right?
dark, but he's not
Fair
a
enough.
ghost.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, that
So-
was hot takes. Yeah. What's up? What's up, Sly?
I just wanted to say, no, we don't hate Pokemon, y'all. We don't hate it. We love it. That's why we want it to be better, okay? We don't hate Pokemon.
Yes.
Stop adding me, Spencer.
I hate Pokemon.
You can blame me for
here's
the
the thing.
thumbnail. You can blame me for the thumbnail.
If we hated Pokemon, we wouldn't be talking about it. Because there's games out there that we do not like that we would not talk about. We want Pokemon to succeed, and so that's why we specifically brought it up in the first place. And so our hot take had a happy ending.
Yep.
I was looking for my Charmander plush so I could throw it out the window.
I don't know why I laughed when you said happy ending.
No.
I'm a child.
Mario! I swear to... Okay, cut this out. Mario! I swear to God. I know for a fact you're gonna... Fuck off, Mario.
Moving on.
Okay, moving on. Okay, so we're gonna get actually into listener questions because we're gonna probably only answer a few. But I really appreciate everyone who has been sending us listener questions throughout the week. It's been super awesome. And I'm really excited that even one person asked us questions, let alone so many that have been sending us these throughout the week and sprinkling them in our Discord, which will be down below, and in our bit.ly link, which is another plug for us, but it allows you guys to kind of communicate with us and get our thoughts on certain things. So I'm going to throw listener questions to Mario.
Yes. I've chosen 2 questions. Hopefully we can get to them. If not, we're just going to get to the main one. The first question is going to come from White Post Malone, who is...
That's my best friend since childhood, Alex. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Alex, a.k.a.
Shout out to Alex.
White Post Malone.
It's Alec, not Alex.
Got it, Alec.
Alec?
Just Alec.
Alec?
Love the fact that his name is White Post Malone. It's ironic because Post Malone is white. Their question is favorite movies, or if you want something more topical, most anticipated movies. So I'll say let's do most anticipated movies that are coming out that you might be excited for. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start with Frank. I know Frank doesn't watch a lot of movies by himself, but he watches a lot of movies with me. So it's basically a segment where he gets to talk about movies he wants to see with me. So I'm excited.
Movies I'm excited for. You know what? I'm gonna go with The Batman. That trailer was awesome. I'm a huge Batman fan. You can't see it, but literally everything behind me is all Batman related. Literally everything from here to this wall is all Batman statues and stuff. I love me some Batman. I cannot wait to see Robert Pattinson actually kill the role. I was skeptical at first when I heard Robert Pattinson was being Batman, but that trailer shut me the fuck up. and I hope it shut the fuck up a lot of people on it. That's really kind of the only movie I'm really hyped for. I'll be honest with you. I mean, Fast and Furious. I want to see my boy Han. But I usually watch movies as they come out. So if there's no movie theater, I probably don't go see them, or I probably don't actually like go out of my way to see these movies. So it's gonna be a very interesting year when all these movies release and I just don't watch them.
That is a fair assumption when it comes to movies, especially in the coronavirus age. So well, hopefully we'll be able to see Batman. It was supposed to come out this year. It looks like it's delayed till next year. Maybe they changed their mind. I don't know. We'll find out. Fiona, is there any anticipated movies or your favorite movie? We'll go either or.
You know what? I was definitely Googling what movies came out this year because I have absolutely no sweet clue what movies are coming out this year in 2021.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
To be
It
fair,
took me a minute too. I was just
I-
like, what's coming out?
to be fair, we don't know if any movies are coming out this year. I'm just saying from things you remember that was supposed to come out last year, if they
Okay.
stick in your mind that you want to see them.
There's two things I want to specifically see. One, the Demon Slayer movie that has not been translated into English or even dubbed, so no one has been able to watch it in the West unless you watch some really, really sketchy fan dub or like sub, my apologies, a fan sub that I'm not going to. And so I'm going to avoid that like the plague until it's actually released, and they don't have a release date yet. But I'm also, because apparently I am on the animated movie train, I'm really excited about Raya and the Last Dragon, which is coming to Disney Plus next month. And
gonna be-
I'm really excited.
What was that again, Sly? You cut out.
That was gonna be mine. I was gonna say Raya and the Last Dragon, so at least we're on the same page about that.
That's good.
And actually, we're going to have a viewing because I know Spencer and I are going to be getting it in some way, shape, or form on Disney Plus, and then we'll do a viewing party, probably in Discord, so everyone can watch it
Yeah.
because you have to pay for it first.
You do.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that. Disney, please don't come after our podcast.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for.
I'm super excited to not actually pirate. What was it called?
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Raya and the Last Dragon. We totally won't be watching it all together on Discord and streaming it for people who don't pay for the service.
No, not at all. Harv, what are you most excited to either see, or what's your favorite movie if you can't think of one?
No, I got something. My favorite movie is Lord of the Rings.
Shout out, it's a great movie.
That is, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings
I
fan.
thought you called yourself a whore. I was about to say.
Yeah. I'm a whore for Lord of the Rings, bro.
Elden Ring.
Oh, come on, man. Why?
Sorry, I had to
Why
do
you have
it.
to hurt me. There's only so much I can take, you know.
It's not even. It has something to do with Lord of the Rings. I was gonna bring it up, and I was like, it has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. But I'm glad somebody did.
For most anticipated movies so far, like I had to look at a list too because movies aren't my thing usually. But what was it? I just had it right now with me. Ghostbusters is what I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters movie.
Because this one looks like they're putting the love and the care into a Ghostbusters movie, and they're giving it some sort of like backgrounds with like the older movies, and they're just kind of continuing the story. And it seems like their casting is really good. So I'm hoping, like, I feel like weirdly Ghostbusters has this like it has a cult following, but like when it's bad, they tell you that it's bad. Like the fans will tell you when it's bad, kind of type thing, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like people are enjoying the trailer for it, but I don't think we've seen anything more on that. I think we've got the one trailer and that's it, right?
Yeah, one trailer
Yeah.
because they got delayed to hell like everything else.
Yeah. So I think that would be mine
Gotcha.
right now is Ghostbusters.
Okay. Sly, were you sticking with Raya? I just want to make sure.
That's my most anticipated. My favorite movie It's a hot take. I'm not saying this is a good movie by any stretch of the imagination, but my favorite movie is Another Cinderella Story. Yes, it's the DCOM with Selena Gomez. I've seen it probably hundreds of times. It's just like one of those comfort movies that's like straight trash, but I love it so much.
I love those comfort movies.
Yeah. No,
Comfort movies are great.
that's fair. Yeah. My probably everyone. You've all mentioned all the ones that I want to see. Obviously, I definitely Ghost and Busters is high up there. Batman is also high up there. If I had to differentiate from different movies that got delayed, Harv, you got something else to say?
I was gonna say I'm really looking forward to the Snyder cut of Justice League. That I'm kidding.
Oh wow. Okay, I was like, you son of a bitch. You trying to Elden Ring us?
Wow.
I can punch back, bro. I can punch back.
Fee said, I need to take my headphones off for a second. That was too much.
Oh man, that my
Anyways,
heart.
I'm done.
Ow.
The movie
Why?
that I am most excited for to see and honestly anticipating, and it's funny because I actually don't even really enjoy the original movie. It's a remake, Candyman. I'm actually really excited for Candyman because it's going to be, obviously it's a more modern take. Whenever I feel like an actual modern director will take something and elevate it, I feel it, and I feel it in Jordan Peele, who's a producer behind this movie, and the way that they're going to, and it's a Chicago movie too, which is nice. So it's actually a place that's not far from me. I can actually go to that location where they're filming, which is I think is the green like neighborhood, the project area, and yeah, I'm excited because I think that if there anything that could be elevated is horror, and a lot of movies today, specifically, there's the high niche ones like Midsummer and sort of like Hereditary, and then you have Jordan Peele, which is elevating Get Out and Us. I think that we can evaluate the older movies that we enjoyed as kids, or even movies that we didn't necessarily like, and give new life. And I think that this version, from everything that I've seen the trailer, I've seen the little snippets that they've had, the evolution of what it's going to say about race, and obviously Chicago and this everything that's happening there. I'm very, very excited for everything that Candyman has to say. Hopefully I get to see it this year. Most likely I'm going to end up seeing it sometime in the upcoming future, I hope.
Yeah. Like,
Awesome.
honestly, out of any director who could be directing a reboot or like a new reiteration of Candyman, it would be Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Like, he did so well, like you said, on Get Out and Us, that having him work on that particular movie, because at the time when it came out, it was a new interpretation of the horror genre, because a lot of it was, it's always these particular archetypes, and they brought in a completely other side to it and then kind of made it their own, which was fantastic. Mind you, were all the Candyman really great movies? We're not going to talk about that. Candyman, the original, was a good movie.
yeah, for sure.
But no, I'm really excited. Like, the second I heard a Candyman reiteration, I'm like, and then I heard Jordan Peele was on it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I trust him to kill this.
Yeah. So yeah, Jordan Peele's writing the screenplay. It is directed by Nina DaCosta, which has done other great work. So I'm excited to see what her vision is. But yeah, and the person after this movie is done, they're moving on to Captain Marvel 2. So
Awesome.
Big future for this person.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about Candyman. I'll go ahead, Sly.
Go ahead. No. You first.
The only thing I remember about Candyman is that all the bees in that movie are practical.
Yeah.
So if you see bees coming in and out of someone's mouth, those were real bees.
He got paid.
He got paid a lot of money. I think he got paid like $1,000 a sting.
Yes. Yep. That's 100% true. He got paid a lot of $1,700. I want to say is what he not 17.
Oh, that,
a lot. He paid a lot.
17,000 times.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Math.
Yeah. I don't remember the actual metric, but I know he got paid a lot of money because those bees were stinging that day.
Bees were stinging. Yeah, for sure. All right.
Sly?
Well, I just want to say Shout out to Alec for asking us this question. He's always been a huge movie buff, so
Yeah.
hopefully I didn't disappoint you too much.
No, I hope it keep interacting with him in the Discord for sure and see what
Yeah,
he's
please
looking
don't-
for. Yeah.
Please don't hate me for my Scorsese take last week.
I will show you more Scorsese movies that are not what you think Scorsese movies. Scorsese.
yeah, hit me
I'm
up with some
tired.
more Scorsese movies.
Yeah. 100%.
Harv,
Also, I
you
just
look
wanna
like you had
say-
something to say?
Yeah, I just want to say, guys, mark your calendars. All right, mark your calendars for March 18th. Just saying, Justice League comes out on March 18th. All right,
I hate you.
just mark your.
Oh my god.
That's it. I quit. I quit the podcast.
Oh, that's what it. Oh man. All right,
Frank's out. Frank's out.
Frank's out. I think we'll save the rest of listener questions for next week.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Boy,
Right.
is he coming back?
Take us out.
Yeah, go ahead and take us out of here.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to the third episode of the Point in Progress. Wow.
All right,
I was waiting for it to
You
happen
had
at least
it.
once.
You had it.
Yeah,
had
I was
it.
waiting for it to
You had
happen.
you had it. Ready?
Go for it.
Fee, take us away.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the third episode of the Point in Progress podcast. That was a little bit difficult to say, especially at 11 o'clock at night. Thank you so much again. We're going to this out by having everyone plug. Obviously, we're going to start off with Mario himself. What would you like to plug this week, Mario?
I would like to plug to stay at my Twitter at that Mario Rivera and my YouTube channel at that Mario Rivera, because there's going to be fun things that I make and things I'm going to be on. So take a look at those two things.
Awesome. And Sly, where can people find you?
You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet at SlyCloneMC. I'm not doing much. Finals week is coming up in a couple weeks, so don't expect to see me anywhere.
And Frank, what have you been up to?
I've been playing video games.
Okay, so where can people find you then?
You can find me on you can find me on Twitter at VenomUnfitSnake. I might do some streaming this week because I might get back into Tarkov, so you can find me on Twitch at VenomUnfitSnake as well. You can, yeah, that's basically it. That's all I can think
Cool.
of.
Cool. And Harv, where can people find you?
You can find me at Beer in the Hair pretty much everywhere except YouTube, which is Beer in the Hair Gaming. I just put out a podcast with Doc Brooke that went out on my YouTube channel, and it's just talking about the way she makes content, why she makes content that she does, and just the political side, because she does a lot of political commentary and stuff like that, and plays a lot of indie games for social change, and she does a lot of charity streaming. And how she balances her life as a PhD student and as a content creator as well. So it's crazy, and it's a really, really good episode. Everybody should go check it out. And it's really cool. Sit down with her for that. So that's on youtube.com/beerinthehairgaming. But yeah, I stream about 4 or 5 days a week on twitch.tv/beerinthehair, and that's pretty much where you can find me everywhere, even on Twitter. So.
Awesome. And people can find me at twitter.com/Lorenix as well as Twitch. I plan on doing some stuff on Twitch this week for the first time in a month. Goodness gracious. So you can find me over there at twitch.tv/Lorenix. You can see the actual thing down here. I will not spell it, but it will be in the description, and it's right below my name if you're watching the YouTube video. I also can be found each and every Tuesday talking about the last season of Attack on Titan over at twitch.tv/penultimate conquest. This week we're going to be talking about episode 11. Hopefully we get out of the dialogue episodes, because we've had 3 in a row where it's been a lot of backstory and what they've been doing since the time skip, and hopefully we kind of see a little bit more this week, maybe some Titan, who knows. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody as an anime watcher. But anyway, thank you so much again, guys. You guys can check us out at our bit.ly link. You can check us out at YouTube as well. Hopefully by the next time we have a podcast, that we actually have the YouTube link, the specialized link. Until that point, you can check us out in the description as well on any podcast platform. If there's a podcast platform that we are not on, please let us know and we will find a way to get it on there for you, because we want it to be accessed by everybody.
Yell at
and
me
if you just want to hang out with us, maybe yell
at me
That's
if there's
Forsyth.
if there's a platform we're not on that you want us to be on. Yell at me.
Exactly. And you can chill out with us on Discord. We have a point in progress Discord where shenanigans happen, people post crazy photos. Mostly Tucker and Mario sending pictures of themselves back and forth, modified in different movie posters and thumbnails. But it's definitely entertaining time. Thank you guys again for joining us for episode 3 of the Point in Progress podcast, and I hope you have a wonderful time. And we had a slogan at the end of the last episode, and I cannot think of it.
I wrote it in the doc. The bottom.
Progress made.
Progress is made. When life hands you lemons, punch it in the face.
Progress is
Justice
made.
League.
Progress is made.